From the Roseville Ice Arena, it's time for playoff hockey here on CTN Sports on North Metro TV as the Centennial-SLP Cougars, the 3rd seed in Section 5AA, playing the Rogers Royals, the 2 seed in the section, for the right to take on the number 1 seed Maple Grove Crimson in the 5AA final on Saturday night here in Roseville. With my broadcast partner Alex Zappa, I'm Bill Hupp. And as I bring Alex in, we look at the bracket here. You see Maple Grove defeating Champlain Park Coon Rapids in the first game of our doubleheader tonight in Roseville. Maple Grove winning 6-1, and there Rogers and Centennial-SLP in the nightcap. And Alex, should be a fascinating game between these two rivals.
Well, you're exactly right. And here's the thing. You see Gross in net for Centennial. She needs to play well because here's the deal. Rogers, they're going to roll with a really remarkable top 6. For Centennial, it's their top line. It's O'Hara, and then guess who else is on there? Gaudreau as well. So it's really the stars of Centennial versus the depth of Rogers. Who prevails? We're going to find out in about 2 hours, Bill.
It should be a fun one indeed as we are underway, and Rogers wins the opening draw. It's swept in deep by Lauren O'Hara, one of the 2 big superstars, big scorers for this Centennial-SLP team. And it should be interesting to see what happens here tonight. Caitlin Gross, as we said, in between the pipes for Centennial, and her counterpart Lauren Larson in between the pipes for Rogers. Royals exit the zone as the captain moves middle. Avery Farrell between the rings. She gets a wrist shot off, pad save to the wall. Spinning down low with it, Ellie Newpower lofts it out. It's deflected down and then backhanded out to center.
And you saw Farrell's scoring prowess right away. She breaks across the blue line, backhand, forehand, finds an inch of room and is able to get a shot off. Look for Farrell to be active, getting shots on net, getting those other forwards in on the rush.
The Royals won the first matchup between these 2 teams 2-0. As Caitlin Gross in between the pipes, and she makes the glove save and hangs on. Gross coming in, the sophomore, a record of 14-8-1 on the alternate captains. Goals against average 1.85, a .931 save percentage, and 5 shutouts on the year.
And here's the deal, Bill. You have an A on your jersey and you're a sophomore. What is it? It's respect. Okay, not only amongst her teammates, but also the coaches as well. She needs to present that front. Your goalie is kind of your leader. You need her to have confidence in this game. If she has it in the netminder, if she has some big saves early, it gives that defense some confidence. It gives those forwards the ability to say, you know what, I'm going to take a chance here because guess what? My goalie's got my back.
No question as Melanie Van Ingen throws it on net. It's loose in front. Big pad save made by Gross. Gross already coming up big. Now a chance on the other end. That shot whistles wide.
Gaudreau just a centimeter, it seemed like, out on the right side. She felt that defense coming in. Good job here to get the shot off early.
Gaudreau again from the slot, and a big save through traffic made by Lauren Larson. It comes into the right wing corner, picked up by the Royals. Backhanded off of O'Hara and out into center, and then O'Hara sweeps it in deep and goes off for a change. Just joined us, Centennial in the all black with the red and white trim, white numerals and lettering. Rogers in the blue and white, blue, black, and white to be correct, as the puck is iced, and the faceoff will come back down in the Royals' end.
So here's the deal, Bill. Gaudreau this year, remarkable, 44 points this year. O'Hara, 46. They don't have anyone in the 30s. They don't have anyone in the 20s. So they're really led by 2 players. For Rogers, first of all, Lauren Larson, incredible this year, 10 wins. Guess what? Rogers, they have 2 goalies who have 10 wins this year, which is unprecedented. You just typically don't see that in girls hockey. But for Rogers, they have 7 players with at least 20-plus points. So now that O'Hara-Gaudreau line is off the ice, how does Centennial's depth stack up against Rogers?
Great question. We'll see. It'll certainly be tested tonight as Newpower cuts off the angle, steals it momentarily. Rogers working along the right half wall. It's sucked out of the zone and all the way down and iced. As Lauren Larson, as you mentioned, the other goaltender, started the first game in the quarterfinal, Alexa Backman. Larson with some pretty impressive numbers, as you see Ava Johansson there. Larson's numbers, 10-3-1 on the season, a 1.25 goals against average, .937 save percentage, and 6 shutouts. Pretty impressive when you have one, the backup netminder has 4 shutouts of her own and then Larson has 6. Both of them are juniors, so both of them just give Rogers as good a defense as you'll see in terms of a starter and a backup in net.
Well, for Emily Echterkirk, I asked her about this. She said, we basically switched them every other game this year, and that's what we're seeing play through tonight. Now the section final, if they get there, who did they start? I don't know. But for tonight, it's Larson, and, you know, this team really rallies around their goaltenders, and it's really the staple of what makes their offense so good is having a good job on the back end with the netminder.
And as you said, a lot of depth in scoring with 7 players with more than 20 points on the season. So it's one of those things where, yeah, you can stop Avery Farrell or McKenna Sandberg, but they still have many, many weapons as Paige Freeman. One of those weapons, toe drags her way to the middle, bumped off the puck in the right circle. It's picked up and carried out of the zone by Centennial-SLP. Good stick lift, though, to force the turnover by by Paige Freeman. The captain forced to the wall. Battle along the left half wall. Good crowd on hand tonight for this section semifinal. There's a chance, and Farrell puts it on net. Gross saw it all the way and made the glove save.
Already Farrell's second shot. Gaudreau saw it all the way. And that's the other thing for the Centennial defense. You got to give your goalie clean angles to see pucks. And you saw it right there. Oh, Farrell saw a little bit of room, but Gaudreau, the defense spreads out left. It forces her to shoot right, and guess where? That's where her glove is.
Off the draw, Josie Bolster's shot is deflected wide and carried on out. Now Farrell brings it back in. Good job by Centennial-SLP to recover. Rung around the boards to Callie Cody. She gets it out of the zone. Sent back for Sydney Bailey. There's a turnover, sharp angle shot. Larson makes the save, and it's swept away to the far wall.
And that's just all about Gaudreau's awareness. You know, you're stuck along the boards. What's the player going to do? They're going to spin around on their backhand. Gaudreau sees it, stick lift, grabs the puck. You know, tough angled shot, but you never know what's going to happen for a good player. She's tucked away a couple from this year, Bill.
Yeah, got to put pucks on net for sure. As that one's fired in towards Larson's net by the other Larson, and she hangs on. 12:21 to go first period, still scoreless between Centennial and Rogers as Lauren Larson in net.
Well, that was a great shot. Just the blue eyes with the blue jersey is unbelievable. Like, it's as if her parents planned it that way.
Yeah, really. Does this jersey make my eyes pop?
It does. I can answer it for you.
Another shot and another save for Larson. As Rogers regains the zone. Wrist shot in the breadbasket of Caitlin Gross. Pretty encouraging for Centennial, Alex, that they've got a sophomore netminder as talented as Gross is.
Well, and you need someone. You know, it's telling when you have an underclassman at net. Okay, well, the senior class, junior class didn't really produce that player. But when you're playing at the way Gross is, you know, at one point a top 10 team in the state, she makes another save there too. Again, you want nerve as a goaltender. So this is really great experience for her. You know, quarterfinals, a little bit of an easy game. Good. Sets the precedent, gives you some confidence going into a section semi, which again, versus the number 2 seed, you're going to face a lot of shots. She has to do it, and you need some of that. You need your defenseman blocking shots as well.
Chatelain getting in the way of that one after another save made by Gross, and that one is up and into the protective netting. So the faceoff will take place to the right of Caitlin Gross. And as you see, Ava Johansson, 16 assists and 16 goals this season. And they're not afraid off that draw win. They'll go right to the net. They'll just throw pucks on net. So willing to test Gross, see how the young sophomore responds. Off the draw, it's banked out of the zone and all the way down by Centennial. Bailey tracks back into her own end. Freeman, cross-ice pass.
Beautiful set piece there.
Good job just getting in the way by Cody. Into the zone, Katie Ball, an 8th grader.
That was a good dump by Centennial. They needed a line change. That line was out there for about a minute and a half.
Yeah, long shift being put in.
Look at O'Hara's confidence. Just, you know what, I don't even need the defense. You know, let me just hang on to it for a little while.
O'Hara, of course, committed to the University of Minnesota as she dumps the puck in deep and sets up the high slot. Yeah, that's a confident player right there. Board battle won by Rogers. The Royals snap it ahead to Bailey, or rather Sandberg. Sandberg tries to walk her way through New Power. And now a good stick lift, and back comes Avery Farrell. Farrell wheels into the zone. Her centering pass only finds a Centennial stick, and back comes Centennial. Goudreau gains the zone, and her shot whistles high. She tracks it to the left corner.
Well, we're all of a sudden at a track meet here, Bill.
Yeah, end-to-end stuff for sure. Noelle Hemmer brings it around to the near side corner. Back up the wall to Lashin. Down low, good centering pass. Lashin in the high slot, can't get anything on it. Now a potential break for Rogers. Ava Johansson draws a penalty. First penalty of the game, and Rogers will be the one on the power play.
You know, in basketball, if someone has a breakaway layup, what do? You know, you kind of hack them. You don't want to give them 2 points. That, to me, is a good penalty. Okay, you have a good player, Johansson. She has you beat. They're past you. You know, one-on-one with your goaltender, that's a little bit of a dicey proposition. So, you know what? You take them down. You hope it doesn't get called. It does get called. And you know what? This is why you have a good goaltender in it. Why? On a penalty kill, for Centennial-SLP. You know, sometimes you gotta win games by playing defense. This is one of those instances, and you find a chance.
Callie Cody, shorthanded, drives the net, loses it. Fans wanted a penalty, none coming. But good effort just to kill off some valuable seconds. Hannah Thompson going to the box. Two minutes for tripping. So Rogers goes on the attack. Sydney Bailey getting it in deep. Bailey rimming the zone on her right hand. Cycles it, but only as far as Lashin whacks it down the other end. Centennial killing off 86.8% of the penalties they've taken this year. Rogers, meanwhile, at 22.2% power play, which is good. Not amazing, but it's good. O'Hara with the steal. She snaps off a wrister that's always rising. Comes around the far side boards, and then it's played down low out of the reach of Bailey.
And Bill, you said it, a wrister that's always the velocity we saw. You know, a lot of wristers in this, you know, from the blue line, you're going to see a little bit, not a rainbow effect, but it's going to go up. And O'Hara's was there in a second. The power behind that shot is the reason why the Gophers want her going to their team.
Yeah, no question. Just a junior, has to have one of the heaviest shots in the Northwest Suburban Conference, as that one is fired up into the Rogers bench. And you see their both benches right there.
And for O'Hara, Bill, I looked this up. 13 games this year, she scored a goal. They're 12-1 when she scores. So when O'Hara gets on the board, this team is very good. When she doesn't get on the board, it's a little bit of a dicier proposition. So for Centennial, they need that first line to produce. They don't necessarily need to see it in the first period. They are dominant second. Centennial plus 20 in the second period. If they can get even through the first, Coach Mullen's gotta love the position he's put his team in.
It's a tremendous stat, and the penalty kill's done a tremendous job. Rogers has to touch up. They were offside. That stops the clock. Power play with 20 seconds remaining. 8:24 left to go in the period. And the draw will come out in front of the Centennial bench.
And you know what, Bill? Looks like we got some referees in the stands. That's always great. They disagree with the call. You love a passionate fan base. And guess what? In a semifinal, you're going to have some parent coaches in the audience. And that's okay. We welcome all types of viewers.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake in these games. As the faceoffs won back to the left point. No shots yet on this power play for Rogers. Walking in, pass across, good stick in the passing lane to knock it free. I believe that was Goudreau who deflected it. Finally, they get one on net as the penalty expires, and Gross makes the save.
And that pass was set right for McKenna Sandberg, who leads his team in points for Rogers. She was going back door, really good hockey sense by her, and that's what Coach Emily Achterkirk told me about. I'm like, you know what makes Sandberg stand out? She said, listen, she's always in the right position. She's always scoring goals. I don't know how she does it, but it's just her hockey sense. That's how you define it. Right position, right time, right place. That's what Sandberg does. We almost saw evidence of that in that last play.
Chat lane just out of the reach of Grace Lager. Off the bench, or out of the box rather. Hannah Thompson into the zone. She puts it on net. Larson grabs it with the leather and hangs on. 7:36 to go in the first. Still scoreless. we figured with these two netminders that it would probably be a low-scoring affair, as it was in the first game. 2-0 Rogers win.
It's two teams with pedigree, right? You know, Centennial, a team that's not too far removed from getting second place in the state finals. Okay, Rogers is a program that the last few years has been incredibly on the rise, producing much better hockey players, more consistent hockey players. And here's the deal. This is where the rubber meets the road. Section semifinals, you know, talk's all easy. And for Rogers, guess what? Their depth has gotten them a better seed, a better record this year. But when it comes to playoffs, it's about stars.
Centering pass just out of the reach of Freeman. Intercepted in the neutral zone. A lot of Captain C's out there. Freeman gets it back. Works middle. Their shot deflected to the end boards.
Great back check by Vreem there, disrupting that shot.
Washington tied up in a board battle, whacking at it with Bailey. Held in left point, pitchforked in deep by Katie Booth. Thompson will get there first for Centennial and bank it off the boards and out to Vreeman in the neutral zone. Bailey into the zone. On the backhand, Booth. Again, Centennial able to clear. This line's been out there for a long shift, so they'll be able to get a new line out there.
Yeah, penalty was over. I think that was a little bit of miscommunication. O'Hearn, I think, thought that they were still on the PK, so she sauces it down there. Not the case. So a defensive zone face-off here for Centennial. Looks like they got their third line out there. Rogers has their second line out there, so kind of the under units. If Rogers can win the face-off, it's going to be interesting to see if they keep this line out there.
Royals do win the face-off. That shot from Sandberg deflected wide. Cleared to the near side boards. Bounding puck. Tied up. Great camera work by our crew there in the corners. Comes around for Bell, and she backhands it all the way down. Icing waved off, so now Centennial will try to set up in the Rogers end.
Ooh.
And Actor Kirk goes down. Arms, nope. Delayed penalty coming up. I looked at two of the refs, and finally the tripping was called, and so second tripping penalty taken of the first period by Centennial. The penalty kill has to do some more work. Lauren O'Hara, the guilty party that time.
I mean, O'Hara got caught with her stick in the cookie jar, basically. She was just along the boards, her stick pressed against her legs, and honestly, the Rogers players tripped over her. Nothing you can really do. You're going to get called for it every time. As you mentioned, Bill, second PK, too many than you want if you're Centennial, but nonetheless, a good confidence boost if you can kill it, and for Rogers, you're all of a sudden looking for answers.
Great save by Gross to deny the shot by Farrell. Had some nifty stick work to get free. It's cleared out of the zone by Chatlane, forcing Rogers to retreat back to center to regroup. Royals get it back in the zone. Wrister from Leah Hatcher deflected wide and again cleared back to center by Centennial. Now they're getting on the forecheck and push Rogers back. Intercepted by Gaudreau, carries it in. All of this very valuable. Just a minute 14 to go on the tripping minor. Deflected at the line, forcing Rogers to retreat. Farrell, good back checking by Gaudreau. Gaudreau, excellent job on the penalty kill. Fans wanted a power play of their own. Centennial has not had the player advantage just yet.
And I don't think they're wrong. I think that was pretty evident. But again, referees, they're human too, Bill. Okay, they can't see everything as much as we would like them to. Sometimes they have selective vision, not in a harmful way, just they're looking at something else.
Into the zone goes Johansson. She drops it back, backhanded, and Gross sticks it aside. That was a dangerous pass right there.
It's something small, but Gross, instead of a pad save, a stick save, gets that puck in the air, doesn't allow a rebound.
Ella O'Hearn has stood up at the left circle, and the Royals through center. Sandberg drives the net, backhanded shot, that goes wide. That was a tough effort. Up to the right point. Rogers still on it with 8 seconds to go. That shot blocked down in front. Again, refs, or again the parents, thinking they're refs, asking for penalties. Another wrist shot, and that one's gloved and held on to by Gross. As the penalty has expired, Centennial-SLP 2 for 2 on the kill here in the first period.
They're 2 for 2, but they were almost 1 for 2 because McKenna Sandberg had a backhand. I mean, this is why she's one of the best players in the state as well. And a junior, she'll be next year graduating class. But backhand, as I mentioned, 3 feet away from the net, she threw it over the net. I can't lift a backhand and say my life, Bill. Can I play on the pond every weekend? So Sandberg, again, close to the net. She knows how to score. If you're close to the net, guess what? The ground's off limits. You got to go high. She does so, just a little too high.
Yeah, and Gross was down too, so she would have scored on the roof, but comes around. Rogers now trying to go to work. Can't take advantage of the 2 Centennial tripping penalties. Rogers has still not taken a penalty as the feed up beautifully for Avery Farrell. Farrell goes to the right point. Well defended as back out in front of the Centennial bench. Bailey picks it up and she's forced back all the way into her own zone. Great job by Chatelain. Chance now, centering pass, and O'Hare misses the net. Couldn't get her stick sorted out. That's put on net from a tough angle. Now we've got a whistle and a stoppage as the net has become dislodged.
And that was just a relentless forecheck that leads to basically a 2-on-1 with Larson as the goaltender. They didn't really get a good shot off, but still, the feistiness of Centennial across all their lines is what has made them so competitive all year long. They never give up. It's very similar, frankly, to the Minnesota Wild. They chase pucks constantly. And for a Rogers team that, frankly, they get a lot of respect. Okay, you win 20 games this year, teams are laying off of you. Talk to any good player, they don't want you pressed up on them. They want you to give them that room, that space, that respect. For Centennial, they're disrupting Rogers' offense by playing them on the puck and, you know, keeping their sticks in passing lanes too.
Boudreau backhands it, looking for Hemmer. O'Hare comes down to keep it in this end. Great forechecking by O'Hare. Held in right point. Down low, redirected in front by Hemmer. She gets on it, goes off the back of the net. Now it's stuck on that back of the net. And everybody's stopped.
I think we need someone who doesn't have any mitts on, you know, could use a human hand. I think we got one, we're okay.
As you see, the bright-eyed Lauren Larson love to pitch her 7th shutout of the season and lead her team to a return date with Maple Grove in the section final. Rogers finishing 2nd to the Crimson in the conference this year.
And those 6 shutouts stand up even taller when you consider she played in essentially half of the games. That's not even in a full season. You don't see more than typically 5 in a given year. To have 6 and only 14 games played is absolutely bonkers.
10 wins and 6 of them coming by shutout. Pretty impressive, and four by shutout for Alexa Backman.
And here's the deal, Bill. Team sport too. That's your forwards doing their job. That's your defense. But it also goes to show you the talent level that Larson has, and this team's ability as a whole to create a defense that is really impossible to penetrate. They've done it 10 times this year.
Forecheck continues to do well as Bailey forced to retreat back. Washington doing damage. Johansson gets it in deep. And Rogers will get some fresh skaters on the ice with 1:30 to go. First period. What has been a very entertaining game of hockey so far.
Well, it's been really back and forth. And coming into this one, Bill, honestly, I thought this was going to be high scoring. I thought this was going to be 4-3, 5-3, 5-4. We might be looking at a little bit closer than when these teams played in December when it was 2-0 Rogers' way. So if it's low scoring, I think that helps Centennial, frankly. If it's higher scoring, I think that's more in favor of Rogers. So this game's tilting in Centennial's direction, but to me this has been a pretty even first period. Also considering, you know, Rogers 2 power plays, Centennial 2 penalty kills.
Tipped into the zone by Gaudreau, who chases after it. And I'm not sure, but that was called a icing. So we'll do the face-off back down in the Centennial end. Certainly looked like Gaudreau had tipped it in the zone.
Well, Gaudreau's got some wheels, man, and she was burning them right there trying to get to that puck. But, you know, it's about when it crosses the red line, and the Rogers player might have been ahead. It's not when it touches the board. So, you know, again, close call. Centennial wins the face-off. Doesn't really matter at this point.
Cougars with a clean zone exit. O'Hara through center ice. O'Hara works on the outside, throws it on net. Larson spills it initially, but then covers, stops the clock with just under a minute to go before our first intermission.
O'Hara just, you see her length, her size is so impressive. And when you have that type of length, as you see Larson, who's going to be facing a couple of her shots in this game, it just gives you so much range to stick handle, to move the puck, to get around defensemen, and you see it right there in that chance.
Nifty stick work and passing, intricate passing. Great move by Gaudreau and a great back check to force the turnover. Nicely done by Justice Olgren. Chance in front, and Larson covers the puck. So traffic in front for Centennial, but that was a very intricate little set of passing with Gaudreau. As you see here, centering pass out in front, and ultimately O'Hara's effort falling to the ice was saved. Off the draw, Centennial plays it in deep. A lot of zone time here in this last couple minutes for the Cougars. Rogers comes away with it, and the Royals exit the zone. Speeding down the right wing. A little dump and chase to the end boards. Backhanded. Near side corner picked up, held in by Rogers. At the left point, hits O'Hara out in front. She comes down with it. I think she may have gloved that down.
She did glove it. She can't do that.
Noelle Hemmer trying to get there and can't do so before icing is called.
Yeah, that was her best shortstop impression, I think, right there. A little dribbler out to the middle infielder. I mean, you said it, Bill. Centennial, what a great last 3 minutes they've had. Okay, you're done with the special teams. Enough of the penalty kills. They've been able to set up shop in the offensive zone. But guess what Rogers does? They protect the front of the crease. Larson's in net, and really, we haven't seen many grade A+ chances in this first period at all.
Yep, both netminders playing solidly as time expires here in the first period. Scoreless first period, back and forth, end to end at time. But ultimately, Caitlin Gross and her counterpart Lauren Larson posting goose eggs after one period of play. Back with a first half recap and some highlights here from Roseville Ice Arena. This is the girls hockey playoffs on CTN, presented by North Metro Sports.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
It took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Bill Hupp and Alex Zappa back here after a scoreless first period at Roseville Ice Arena, our second of two Section 5 AA semifinals. The winner of tonight's game, as we look at highlights from the first period. And obviously after a scoreless first period, Alex, it's a lot of saves, a lot of netminder highlights. Caitlin Gross playing well for Centennial, and for Rogers, Lauren Larson doing the business for the Royals here, stopping a Megan Gaudreau shot, and just defense carrying the day in the first period.
Well, the thing, Bill, you see with all these shots, the shots along the edges, right? Defense is doing a very good job of keeping players along the perimeter. Their shot from the top of the circle, that's nothing Gross can't handle. Okay, a little flutter on the net. Here, again, along the boards, where they do try to work it out in front, but again, two white jerseys right there. O'Hara can't really get a good shot on it. So, what the story is, defense, yes, but how did it happen? Okay, the defense crowding the center, forcing players out to the brim, and then clogging those passing lanes, trying to get cross-ice passes, and then getting something in front of the net too.
Yeah, not a lot of stuff in the slot, not a lot of stuff between the rings or anything, or even big slappers from the point. To your point, it was a lot of sharp angle stuff, a lot of stuff forced to the outside. But this is a big opportunity for Centennial-SLP, Alex. You noted a statistic early in the first period, but I think it's worth mentioning again, Centennial really tends to own the second period this season.
Well, they do. I mean, first period, again, 4 goals against Centennial, 21, opponents 14. Second period, 33 for Centennial, 13 for their opponents. So, to me, what does that say? Okay, you got a really good line with O'Hara and Gaudreau. First period, filling out period. Second period, guess what? Your legs are ready. They're cooking. They're finely tuned. They're not tired yet. That's your third period. Second period is when a lot of good offenses start to get rolling. They start to find that rhythm. They figure out how the defense is playing them. You know, guess what? You go into the locker room, you take a little bit of a breather. Coach tells you what they're seeing. So again, what did we just see? A lot of action along the perimeter. Look for them to do a little, to cut in, drop passes behind, trying to sprinkle that defense on the edges. Then you work yourself back into the inside as well. So for Centennial, they're in a good position. It's a 0-0 game. For Rogers, they are too. What they need is they need to make that O'Hara and Gaudreau line work a lot more. What we saw at the end of that first period, a lot of stagnant action in the offensive zone for Centennial, which, what does that do? It doesn't make you tired. You're excited. Your adrenaline's pumping. You're close to your goal that you want to score on. So for Rogers, you need to turn those pucks over. You need to dump them. You got to make them work their legs. You got to tire out that first line, make the second line and third line play longer. That's how Rogers is going to win. And for Centennial, it's you got to score with your best players.
Yeah, and we talked about during the intermission how much they're going to ride that top line of Gaudreau and O'Hara. And so it really, you know, you look at the scoring distribution. Unlike Rogers, Centennial-SLP, very top-heavy with their scoring. They rely on the likes of Gaudreau and O'Hara on that top line to supply most of their offense. And like you said, that fantastic statistic you cited, 12-1 when O'Hara scores. So as she goes, so goes this Cougars team.
Well, it's not by accident. And Gaudreau, you can put her in the same boat. She's scored in 14 games this year. They're 12-1-1 when she scores, okay? They're 0-5 when she doesn't score. So that stats across the board. When that first line is rolling, this team is borderline impossible to beat. When a team like Rogers can shut them down, which they did when it was 2-0 back on December 18th, guess what happens? You lose, okay? So what does it come down to? Producing when the pressure is on. And that's what Centennial has done in years past. They couldn't get past Blaine for years. They finally did. What happened? They get all the way to the state final. They lose to an incredible Blake team that would end up having 81 players. 5 of them are on the Gophers basically right now. For Rogers, again, team, they're trying to break that seal. They're trying to get past that edge. They're trying to get to that state tournament. And this is the team that they've been building towards. They need to do it this year, and this period could be the one that decides this game.
Yep, should be a good one as the two teams flip sides, and we are underway here in the second period as Rogers wins the opening draw. Back at their own blue line, and it's tipped. Good hustle as who else but Lauren O'Hara forcing it all the way to Larson, and she has to melt it down. So good early pressure for Centennial means the draw will come in the right circle of the Royal zone. Draw one forward to the right corner as O'Hara tracks it to the end boards. Gaudreau on it, back out to the right point with Washington. Hemmer into the end boards, but she manages to track it to the corner. Out to Thompson, left point. It's a body in front, as I believe that was Freeman who took that one. Thompson comes in above the right circle. That shot goes flashing wide. Good early pressure for Centennial. Center between the slot. O'Hara's there, and she centers it, flings it on net. That goes wide of the left post. Good early start. Turnover. O'Hara in front. Backhand save. A big save by Lauren Larson.
O'Hara wanted to lift that puck up. She just missed it by a hair, and then it ended up being on the ice. Easy pad save for Larson.
Kirk. Avery Kirk, 12 goals and 16 assists for the coach's daughter. Shares it out on high for Leah Hatcher. Above the left circle, it's driven down and carried on out. Now a 3-on-1 for Centennial. They gain the line, pass across. There's a shot saved by Larson. It's to deny Callie Cody. To the left half wall. Chopped at as they get it back in the zone. Chance for Ella O'Hearn. Between the rings, pad save made to the corner. Back out on high. Initially kept in by Ellie Newpower, and now a chance for the Royals. Sandberg down the right wing. Sandberg drives the net. Backhand, and a big save made. Gross coming up big in between the pipes, sliding from her left.
That's really the first time we've seen Sandberg shine in this game. Coming into this one, her last 4 games, 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points. The other player we were going to spotlight in this game, Avery Farrell. 12 points in the last 4 games, 5 goals, 7 assists. Rogers, they've won a few games in a row. Centennial, they've won 4 in a row. These are 2 teams that both have been lighting up the scoreboard of late.
Decides to take it as Noelle Hemmer misses the net with that shot. O'Hara tries to keep it in. Instead, it's collected by Farrell. Farrell around Hemmer through the neutral zone. Nifty moves. Farrell between the rings. Her shot hits a player out in front. Center looking for O'Hara, or for Farrell, rather. O'Hara behind her own net, rings it around and up the near side boards and out of the zone. Hemmer digging at it. O'Hara trying to work it off the wall. Puck slides off the far side boards, and then it's flung in deep. Long shift for Centennial as they get entirely new skaters out there and go on the forecheck. Sandberg regains the zone for Rogers. Good back checking. Good pressure by Grace Lager. Now this is Tegan Kuhlenkamp. A little chip and chase through the neutral zone. Olgren will get there first. Pounded back there by Chatlane. Pressure in the right corner. It's played to the near corner. Big collision. Rogers has yet to take a penalty in this hockey game. Centennial-SLP 2 for 2 on the kill. 13:19 to go, second period. Still scoreless between the 2 and the 3 seed in Section 5AA. Now a chance as the puck slides into the Rogers end, and ultimately it'll be covered and held on to by Gross.
She gets a little bit of snow there. A nice friendly embrace there by Rogers, but Gross, look at the sophomore. Could you see a nerve on her? No. Ice cold. And here's the deal. That sliding puck going towards her. A Leicester goalie panics. They rush up. They go to cover it, or they're a little indecisive. She could see the pace and the scoring. Not really the scoring. The player coming at her. That I can just hang out on this puck. This is fine. Her hockey sense back in net is so good. Makes another save off of the faceoff. Again, just her demeanor in net is so telling towards how this whole Centennial team is, which is, again, they're not overreacting. They're fine. This is right where they want to be.
Very poised for a sophomore as Thompson dangerously tried to clear it through the middle. Not a good idea. Instead, it's forced out of the zone by Centennial. Ball giving chase. Swept in by Farrell. She'll set up along the blue line as Thompson cycles it back down low. Ball sends it out. Trying to give chase. Ella O'Hearn tips it to the far corner. Rogers will get there first. Held in nicely, though, by Noelle Hemmer. Rogers comes away with it, and the Royals exit the zone. And center ice, Katie Booth flips it in. Chance here, Gaudreau passing middle, and it's worked to the near side boards. Leah Hatcher skating out with it. Hatcher through the neutral zone, just 1-on-4. And so she'll throw it toward Gross, who steers it to the far side corner. Good job to force the turnover there. Centennial with good puck support. O'Hara comes away with it. Sandberg trying to keep it down there for Rogers.
This is a long shift for O'Hara and Gaudreau in that first line for Centennial.
Off the glass and out of the zone. Nicely done.
Let's see if she has the legs.
Gaudreau has a 2-on-1. Pass across. Wrist shot. And that's saved. Finally, Larson dives on it. The puck was eventually spilled, but the whistle had blown at that point. So the faceoff will take place down on the Rogers end, but another glorious scoring chance there for the Cougars.
Well, and if they're not on minute like 220 of their shift, that's probably a goal. But you saw Gaudreau, who's usually as fast as ever, couldn't beat the defense wide left, which she usually does in that instance. She gives it to Hemmer or Lyman, who couldn't bury, but a good play, but one that is a goal if you have fresh legs on the ice. tired legs, tired line, you're not going to have as good of an opportunity.
Royals win the draw. Sandberg flips it up, and it's deflected and out of play, so we'll do it again from the right circle of the Rogers zone. That's a great point, Alex. The tired skating Goudreau managed to get it down there and get the pass across, but then Hemmer just did not have enough lift on that shot to beat Larson.
And that's the thing with hockey, it's a mind game. It's strategy. I think, again, I've referenced the Wild. Something Dave Edmondson has been really adamant about this year is you have 60 seconds and get off the ice. So one of our guys at 100% is better than you at 70%. That's something that Centennial has to start to institute a little bit more. You need more discipline on those line changes.
Great job previously by Grace Lager to force it in deep after the delayed offside was being called. It's down in the Centennial-SLP end, right corner. Lager still doing work, speaking of long shifts. Cleared but not out, finally out into the neutral zone. Chopped at by Kuhlenkamp. Cross ice pass banked off in front of the Centennial bench. Royals recover, but it does allow Centennial to change on the fly. 10:22 to go, second period. We remain scoreless. For the right to play in the Section 5 AA final here against top seed Maple Grove. Battle along the end boards. And it's going to be who wins those board battles when the puck's tied up. What kind of puck support do you have? Off the wall, centering pass, chance. Couldn't get the stick skated out, Vreeman. And that shot flashes wide as Vreeman previously just could not get her stick free. Stick was tied up. Good change by Hemmer, centering pass on, fanned on it by Goudreau. Hemmer skating back hard to recover. Sandberg chip and chase. Hemmer leans on her behind the net. Picked up by Newpower.
Hemmer just went red line to red line in about 9 seconds. Look at her speed get back up in the rush.
O'Hara with Newpower to her left. O'Hara moves in, centering pass just underneath the stick of Goudreau. Cross ice pass for Rogers, and now the Royals with a chance. Johansson gains the zone, pass across for Sandberg. Goes off the wall, centered, looking for Actor Kirch. That's a tough one. They come off the wall here. Wrist shot hits a Centennial player in front and then swept away. These kids are leaving it all on the line as that puck is iced. So, boy, it's just been end to end the entire night. No goals, but so much excitement.
It kind of felt like it's a basketball game and everyone's jagging off the rim and it's just back and forth, back and forth, fast break, fast break. It felt on 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 2-on-2. And again, that's what these players and these teams really are comprised of, is a lot of talent, a lot of speed, and a lot of players that, guess what, we get in transition, and that's when we go, and both these teams seem to like that, and that's when we've seen offense come through in this game, Bill, is when these teams are skating in the open ice. Now, these set pieces have not really produced much offense. It's been on those odd man rushes where we've really seen these teams shine so far.
Yep, no question about it, as Cody has tried to clear a couple times for Centennial, but it's been held in at the line nicely by Rogers both times. Finally, Centennial able to get it out. That allows them to make a change as they force it in deep. Picked up goal line extended by Rogers. Royals clear it out to center where it's swept in deep by Farrell. Or not deep enough, I suppose, as Thompson clears. Deflected up and out of play. See Avery Farrell, 18 goals, 22 assists for the captain, one of 3 captains wearing the C. 2 of them right there for Rogers.
And Emily Achterkirk labeled her, a grinder. She said, Farrell, she is tenacious. She works so hard. And her and Sandberg on the same line. She said, Sandberg's got a lot of finesse, and, Farrell's got that too, but Farrell will be in every corner, every puck battle. You can find her there, and she's someone that really, for that first line, puts their other line mates in positions to be successful and to score goals, and she'll do some of that too.
Good stick lift by Thompson to take it away from Sandberg. It's tied up at the right point, the Centennial end. Off the wall. Achterkirk tried to get it in, but couldn't get a shot off. Thompson now controlling along the end boards. They'll go back to the near side corner with it. 7:21 to play. Centennial struggling to clear its own zone now. Great forecheck by Rogers. Actor Kirch in the right corner. Avoids a couple checks, gets it out front, and Johansson's shot is saved by Gross. What an individual effort by Avery Actor Kirch to come off that wall, get through a couple checks by Centennial, but Gross was there to make the save. As you see her get it out front, and then Johansson just couldn't get much on that shot.
Well, Johansson, 14 goals, 14 assists on the season. This is a player that knows her way around a net and knows how to get to the twine. And right there, I thought that was in. Gross somehow was able to have enough elevation to get on top of that puck because Johansson went high, Gross got higher.
Hemmer and O'Hara pick it up in the neutral zone. They'll go back into their own end. O'Hara can't split the defense. Farrell carries it in for Rogers, centering pass in a dangerous area. But luckily it found its way to a Centennial stick. Cougars able to clear, good stick lift by Newpower. And now carried in, a chance here for Rogers. On the backhand, centered across, Gross makes the save. And then she's run into, a whistle stops play. But Caitlin Gross once again standing on her head.
You know, Bill, I thought the Super Bowl was Sunday, but apparently it's Tuesday night here at the Oval. And again, really good 2-on-1. Great job by Farrell to get it back door. But oh my goodness, Sherling. Again, Sherling, double-digit goal scorer. She has 11 on the season. But look at Gross. What's happier than a goalie after making a great save? I don't know, Bill. And guess what? She's all smiles. The sophomore is doing a fantastic job. 6:23 left. We still got zeros. I just want to see a goal.
Yep, that's kind of what this game needs. 6:17 and counting to go, second period. Both goalies putting in their fair share of terrific saves. And Centennial could use some time in the offensive zone. Rogers has been the better team the last 5 minutes or so, as they will earn a draw as Larson melts it down.
Larson thought about uncovering that, but the speed of Centennial shows through again, and guess what that earns you? Offensive zone faceoff. Nothing more valuable in hockey than that.
One back to Thompson. She slides it across. Thrown on net, got all the way through to Larson, and once again she decides to cover.
I should say a goal is the most valuable thing in hockey. Next to that, I would say offensive zone faceoffs.
O'Hara skates out, rimming the zone, looking for a pass. Banks it off the far side boards, gets it back. Centering effort goes, or the backhand effort goes wide. O'Hara just clearly one of the best players on the ice, if not the best.
It's a really good give and go by her and Gaudreau. Just goes to show you the chemistry those two have playing with each other for so long.
Flung into the zone, Rogers a chance in front, and that one goes wide. And now slow to get up. That was a real opportunity for the Royals and Johansson. Meanwhile, Centennial buzzing. Gaudreau getting to the puck first. Lashin and Lager digging at it at the left point. Lashin goes down the wall to the end boards, 4:42 to go.
And Gross has been absolutely standing on her head this period. That's probably, I would say, the fourth grade A save. I didn't think we saw many A+ opportunities. Each team has had several here in the site. It's the period we anticipated. We just haven't seen the scoring that I think we thought we'd seen. Here's that chance, that fluttering puck. Johansson finds it, forehand, backhand, conventional move, but Gross saw it coming. And again, when you're coming from that right angle, there's not much you can do as a forward. Gross, again, only as a sophomore, just knows the beats of the game. Okay, if she goes here, she's going to go there. And there you see the backup's kind of having some fun, too. And again, Daniels hasn't played as much as Rogers, but hey, this game, first and foremost, at the high school level, is about fun. It's good to see teams, I should say players on different teams sharing a smile. That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, Backman and Peterson sharing a laugh. And that one, as you saw, Gross's positioning, because she was so tight to the post, forced Johansson to go wide, and she went off the side netting, but it's as good as a save, obviously. Keeps this game scoreless with under 4 minutes now to go here in our second period. Cody backhands it, cleared but not out. Wrist shot fired wide. Comes up the near side boards and is swept all the way down and iced. Not a bad idea after that long shift, allows both teams to get fresh skaters on the ice. We unfortunately do not have an official shot count here at Roseville Ice Arena. A lot of arenas keep track of that, not this one. But it feels like it's been fairly even, and needless to say, both goalies have been outstanding tonight to keep this a scoreless game. Now a chance here between the rings on a blocker save made by Gross. Rogers has peppered the Centennial net here, particularly in the last 7 minutes. Now a shot from the line, off the boards, stolen away by O'Hara. O'Hara comes off the end boards, clears it, banks it up for Goudreau, who races onto it at the line. Goudreau on the backhand, forced wide, tries to center it. It goes off the end of the net, the back of the net, I should say. Pass across, and now Rogers will exit the zone. No numbers, though. Royals work it to the outside. That one's off the side netting. Like Goudreau in the first period, just wanted to get something on net. But again, back and forth we go. Centennial into the zone. That shot pad save made. Larson again coming up big. Just solid goaltending all around. Flung cross corner by Centennial with 2:37 to go here before our second intermission.
And here's the deal, Bill. This is what you get when you get to a section semifinal in the state of hockey, okay? Like, you're not going to have goaltenders letting in flutter pucks from the blue line. You're not going to have one-on-one. Like, no. You got to earn your goals when it comes to section semis. And guess what? These teams we've seen a couple good plays here, but O'Hara had a chance, couldn't quite get it to go. Sandberg had a chance. The goalie was better. It's going to take a really good play to score a goal.
No question about that. 2-on-2, great no-look pass for Anna Sandberg. She's dragged down, and a penalty coming up. Delayed penalty as Rogers between the rings. They score! Paige Freeman, 13th goal of the season, with the delayed penalty coming up, and all the momentum now with the black and blue as the Royals get the first goal of the game with 1:53 to go, second period. And that was through traffic. Not sure how much Gross saw it, but Rogers, with the penalty coming up, they get into the zone the first time, and then they go to work.
Well, here's the deal. First of all, great job by Rogers, just, again, get to the net. But here's the thing. What does the other line mate do? Keeps the puck alive. And again, a captain, she's done it before. What she does there, it's a backhand pass out in front of the net, as you mentioned, Bill, in between the circles. Freeman, she saw the open net. Again, Gross is down on the count from the rush earlier. The forward took her out. So all of a sudden, Freeman sees half an empty net goal. Guess what? Just put it on net. She does so, gets it up in the air, so it's over the pad low. 1-0 Rogers.
That goal coming at the 14. Well, we'll see who they give the assist to. .15:07, the time of the goal, an even strength goal. Between the rings, that shot fired high by Johansson. It was Freeman from Farrell. Like you said, the captain doing work on the forecheck, keeping the play alive, finding a hard-charging Freeman. And now Centennial's got some work to do. The penalty did not end up happening, obviously, as that backhanded effort goes wide. I don't know how that didn't get in, but Centennial fortunate to remain down just a goal.
And here's the deal, Bill. When you're one-line dependent, guess when that hurts you? Towards the end of periods. Okay, what have we seen the last 3 or so minutes? Rogers really coming alive in that depth, showing through. Not only did the first line just score, the second line almost just did it too.
Thompson will track that, but ultimately it's iced. So Centennial will have a face-off down that'll allow them to get that first line out there for this last draw, as O'Hara will go to work. But you see the goal here, great saucer pass to Vreeman on the backhand through traffic. Not much that Caitlin Gross could have done about it. And Paige Vreeman cracks the scoreboard. Initial shot there as Larson makes the save. They go off the boards, out to the neutral zone, 8 seconds to go. O'Hara chips it in deep, 5 on the clock. O'Hara picks it up, centers one more time as the whistle sounds and time expires. Rogers gets a goal at the 15:07 mark of the second period. Paige Vreeman getting on the score sheet for the Royals. And after 2 periods of play, Centennial-SLP trails Rogers in this Class 5A AA semifinal 1-0. This is Girls Hockey Playoffs on North Metro TV.
The COVID-19 vaccines can be our chance to get back to our plans, to get back to each other, to life. But it's okay to have questions, like, can the vaccines give you COVID-19? You cannot get COVID-19 from a vaccine. Find the latest information at getvaccineanswers.org.
Back here at Roseville Ice Arena, ready to start the third period of play. Rogers with a 1-0 lead over Centennial, the 2 over the 3 after 2 periods of play. As we look at second period highlights, and again, Alex, defense was the name of the game in the second period.
Well, it wasn't. Oh, look at O'Hara. So good. Almost had it, but couldn't quite do it here on the other end. Rogers has a little 2-on-1. What do? Whoop, go outside, come back inside. That was Sandberg's opportunity, a good one at that. But Gross, the flexibility, the splits, the pad save, we love to see it. That's probably the best chance Centennial had all period. One-on-one with the goaltender. Frankly, that's a shot you have to convert, but why didn't you? Because Larson's in there. She's won 10 games this year, 6 shutouts, as you talked about earlier. But Rogers, they found some scoring. It wasn't going to be that play, but again, Gross, if the net's not there, maybe it isn't. And then here's the opportunity. Okay, Farrell keeps the puck alive. She brings it back out center. What happens? Scores the goal from Vreeman, 1-0 Rogers.
Yep, Vreeman on the backhand as the delayed penalty call was coming up. So you see Centennial-SLP retakes the ice, and now it's Rogers' turn to join them. And this is still very much anybody's game, Alex.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's 1 goal differential. Momentum on Rogers' side, but, you know, it's a new period. I would say it kind of goes neutral. And for Gross, you got to stay strong, okay? Yes, you let in 1. But guess what? You need to score 1 at least to win. 2's going to have to do it now for Centennial. So for the sophomore, you know, 1 goal, it's no, and frankly, maybe they should have stopped play because, again, on that rush, what happened? She got taken out. Okay, she was done. So not really her fault. You still have your confidence. For Larson, you have 2 periods of a clean slate. Okay, you can't be feeling better than she is right now. But all it takes is 1 puck that you didn't see. All it takes is what we saw from Gross, which is, again, you get tackled basically, and then you're left to your own devices. And that's when Rogers scored. So for Centennial, it's okay. How can we get Gaudreau and O'Hara on the ice? Not against the first line of Rogers, because that's what Emily Achterkirk has done an exceptional job of, is matching lines with that O'Hara, Gaudreau, Hemmer line. So for Coach Mullen, it's about, okay, how can I get my best line against one of their weaker lines? And for Rogers, it's the inverse of that. It's, okay, we need to have our shutdown line on the ice when O'Hara's there. If they can do that, they might stamp their ticket to a section final, Bill.
It's all to play for here, and a spot in the 5AA section final against Maple Grove at stake as Centennial wins the opening draw of the third period. Rogers able to sweep it in deep, but you're right, Gross has to bear down because the next goal is a critical one. Obviously, you don't want to go down 2-0 with these with Lauren Larson in net. As O'Hara chips and chases so she had it between the rings. Hemmer can't keep it in the zone as Thompson gets there ahead of Anna Sherling. Sherling with a good forecheck, coming down to play it, Megan Goudreau. Goudreau cross-ice pass picked up by Hemmer at center ice. He backhands it in deep. Sandberg gets there first. Just about a minute gone by here, third period. Picked up in the neutral zone. High slot shot. Gross makes the save, spilled the rebound, but it was far enough away that Booth could get there first for Centennial.
And for Gross, it's always nice to face a good opportunity early. Just again, see a puck, know that you still got it, and get your wits about you as you enter a new period.
Hansen with a centering pass. Actor Kirk gets there first. Stapled to the wall by Newpower. Centered out in front, and somehow it stayed out of the net. Oling tracks it back to the neutral zone.
Good job by the Centennial defense there, collapsing in the crease and making sure that nothing could get through.
Flip to the far side, or to the near side. Centering pass just behind racing Ella O'Hearn. So now in the possession of Anna Sherling. Interesting to call some new names like Sherling, getting third period run here early, trying to get maybe some fresh legs on the ice. These lines, these top lines have played an awful lot of hockey here tonight.
And I think that's definitely the adjustment for Centennial, is stretching out those lines a little bit longer. Okay, let's get some different legs in this. Let's get some different line combinations. So then it mixes up the flow of Rogers as well.
Good plan by Centennial to get traffic in front of Larson, but she's able to save that one. Flung on net from the point. Grabs it with the glove and hangs on. Larson gunning for her 7th shutout of this 2021-2022 season. Goudreau hoping to cancel that out. Rogers wins the face-off to the end boards. Held in at the point. Hard off the end boards, it comes up the near side wall. Good job by Washington to get her stick in the passing lane. Goudreau speeds onto it. And it's picked up by Avery Farrell, who assisted on the lone goal of this game. Sherling loses out to Goudreau in the left corner. Goudreau tries to center. Bailey gets there first. Washington will walk the line. Rung around to the far side for Washington. Whacked at. And now a chance for Rogers. Get there first before icing. Good job tracking back by Newpower. It's loose. Centering pass, and that actually was a shot from a tough, tight angle that was saved by Gross.
And that was a tough break for Sherling. She's basically 1-on-0, but everyone else went for a line change. She was caught dead back behind her red line with no one else there.
Nice job there by Grace Lager to force it in deep. Getting pucks deep, that's certainly something both teams have done a good job of tonight. Up to Actor Kirk at the line, passes it across as Rogers gets it in the zone. Newpower wins that and goes back to the down low to the corner. Flung out of the zone to the neutral zone. Rogers tries to play it back in. Bad turnover between the rings. Sandberg forced wide. She manages to get a shot off, but that was almost a 2-goal deficit.
Well, again, you never want to clear a puck center ice, and that's what you saw there. Sandberg, again, but that's why Sandberg, her hockey sense is incredible. She senses that that's where the open ice was, that's where the defense would go. She's there.
Locked out in front nicely by Alexis Larson to deny Leah Hatcher, 21-on-21. Holmgren from the left point again hits a Centennial player out front. Cleared back to the neutral zone, so the Royals have to touch up. Larson tracks it to the end boards. She clears it again back through center. Holmgren saps one off, and that's saved with a pad. And somehow got all the way through and tested Gross.
And Holmgren, defender, 8 goals, 14 assists this year. You saw it with the velocity on that shot. She is absolutely a threat from the blue line.
Had some heat. Cleared but not out. Held in. Holmgren backhands it cross corner. She goes off for a change, and this is a long shift being put in here by Centennial. Cougars would take an icing right now just to get a line change. They force it out, so Rogers with a delayed offside. But again, look at the tired skating of New Power. Finally, a whistle stops play as the faceoff will come out into the neutral zone, and again, just a long shift put in right there.
There's a long shift, and now they got Gaudreau and O'Hara and Hemmer's line out on the ice. And here's the deal. As a viewer, as a commentator, and as a coach, you start counting how many shifts that O'Hara, Gaudreau, Hemmer line has left. And you know what? It's, under 12 minutes, there's not many. They got to make something happen.
Pass across, give and go. Beautiful play by Sandberg trying to find Johansson. Couldn't quite connect on it. Instead, it's O'Hara who clears. Taken back by Achterkirk. She sends it in deep. She'll go off for a change. Comes off the end boards, and Gross wisely decides to take the whistle. Again, the poise of Caitlin Gross will be a big factor here as the minutes tick down.
And you can see it on her face there. Again, cool, calm, and collected. She knows what to do in this situation. She's been practicing for this moment all season long. She just needs her team to score a goal.
Draw one back to the point by Rogers. Center point whistle. That goes wide.
Again, there you see the velocity on that Olgren shot. That thing got there in a hurry.
Olgren once more from the point. Comes hard off the end boards. Gaudreau up for O'Hearn, center ice. O'Hearn with Hemmer streaking forward. Gaudreau has it saved.
Oh, she was looking for the 5-hole, but a big hit along the boards.
Meanwhile, we've got a player down in some pain along the end boards. Going hard into those end boards, never fun.
Gaudreau kind of got caught up.
Ooh.
Yeah, that
just
did
the
not
knee.
look great.
Yeah, the knee bent behind. We're trying to get a number here.
Well, again, it's Bill. We were watching the Maple Grove game, who advanced to the Section 5 2A finals here a couple hours ago from the Oval, but it looks so much different on TV than it does in person. These players are skating fast, they're hard. And again, tonight I've been saying, Centennial's one scoring line. All of these players are remarkable. To play varsity hockey in the state of Minnesota, it takes a certain amount of ability and courage. All of these athletes are incredible. But guess what? It comes with some danger. And it's something you don't necessarily think about as a viewer. But here's the deal. They're putting their livelihood on the line to play this game. And, that commands our respect. And you see it right there. This is a sport of hockey. This ain't anyone's game.
Yep, no question. Third period, state tournament berth still at stake as section final awaits the winner of this game. Gaudreau with an opportunity. Megan Gaudreau bearing down. Forehand, saved by Larson. Larson made the right pad save. It's 1-0 still in favor of Rogers.
That was a great move, a great shot, but a better save. Oh my goodness, was Larson seeing that the whole entire way. Never gave up that left side of her net.
Sandberg drops it looking for Freeman. Instead, it's intercepted by Katie Ball. It's a reason she saved nearly 94% of the shots she faced this year. And you're seeing why. She's come up with some dandy stops here in this hockey game.
Again, 10-3-1 this year. Her counterpart back. This is how similar Larson and Backman are. They're both juniors. Backman 10-1-1. Larson 10-3-1. 1-2-5, 1-3-1. And here's that Gaudreau chance. Backhand, forehand, backhand. You think if that puck gets raised, it's probably in? But a good stick check, I think, by Larson, too. I think she got to that puck before she even got the shot off.
Yeah, and both goaltenders just look so calm, but you wonder what they're feeling inside.
And my last point with Larson and Beckman, Larson's save percentage this year, .937. Beckman's .938. 1/100th apart.
Sandberg shot hits Booth out front. Effort from the point. That was saved. A juicy rebound falling to Johansson, but she couldn't do anything with it. Back out to center. So Rogers has to get back on side. It's Johansson tracking it. Booth behind her own net. Got to be careful here. Cougars go off the window and out to the neutral zone. Ella O'Hearn loses it. Johansson dumps and leaves. Fresh skaters on the ice. Holmgren at the left point. Work to the wall by O'Hearn. Cleared but not out. And finally it is cleared. Back out to Sydney Bailey at center, and she had Goudreau lurking. Opportunity now, and Gross makes the stop initially. Loose, wide open net, but luckily Gross was able to get back in it.
And that's sometimes the price you pay when you're a Goudreau O'Hare that's kind of leaking out for the offense, leaves your back end exposed for the defense.
Those have been the best chances, seemingly, is those hit-aheads that Goudreau gets. Hemmer and O'Hara trying to get it in deep. They'll flip it toward Larson's net. She ultimately decides to leave it for her defense. Turned over, O'Hara has that shot that Larson stops. Inside of 8 minutes to go, third period. Centennial searching for that game-tying goal, trying to force overtime.
And that's the kind of shot a lesser goaltender lets in. You know, not really expecting it. O'Hara's in between the circles. She's spinning around. Well, where's this shot going to be? Guess what? It's up in the top right corner, and now it's 1-1. Larson all over that puck. Never gave up in the offensive zone. Was ready for it.
Washington passed across for Hannah Thompson. She's worked to the wall. She'll get it on net, though. Comes up the near side boards. Washington comes down to play it. Tied up in the right corner. Eventually, Rogers comes away with it as Farrell wheels away from pressure. Centennial doing a nice job keeping it down in the Rogers end. Just as I say that, they managed to clear it down and ice the puck. So we'll allow both teams to get fresh lines on the ice as the faceoff will come back.
And we just saw Goudreau and O'Hara on the ice. They went for a line change, and now you're on the side, which is their back. I mean, for just the endurance is unbelievable by them two. And just, you know, they're logging a lot of minutes. Those legs have got to be getting tired. But with that, they got to play a little bit smarter, and I think we're seeing that. But again, leaves the defense in a little bit of trouble. So Centennial at this point, you kind of got to go for broke, and you need a goal, and that's what they're searching for.
Yeah, no question. At some point, you have to sell out to go for that game-tying goal, because whether you lose 2-0, 3-0, or 1-0, it's still a loss. You need to get on the scoreboard and somehow beat Lauren Larson. She shepherds that to the far corner, just out of the reach of New Power and all the way down for an icing. So the pressure maintained by Centennial as the first line hops off the ice. You know, we'll see them back in a second. 6:26 to go, third period. Face-off coming this time to the right of Lauren Larson as Caitlin Gross looks on.
She's been good, Bill.
Oh, she's been tremendous. And they would not be in this hockey game were it not for her heroics. A trip to the Section 5 AA finals at stake as once again the puck is iced. And now, how
it's the law at this point. Because every second counts. So you lose this face-off, well, that could be potentially 40 seconds to a minute and a half that you don't get to be in your offensive zone and get shots on net. So Centennial wins it. Now again, second, third line out on the ice. Can they set up an offensive opportunity? Can they get some shots on net? Can they find one that crawls back?
Recovering by O'Hearn as Ella O'Hearn. Freeman able to force it in deep. Thompson on it, centered out in front to a dangerous area. Finally whacked out of the zone by O'Hearn and all the way down for an icing, but good job by O'Hearn to continue battling. And there have been some, as you see here, Lauren Larson. And Larson has been outstanding between the pipes all night, Alex.
Well, and look at the variety of saves here. Okay, that one she had to get down. This one had to cross over, get the pad on it. Cross ice, what is she going to do? Ooh, she's ready for a blocker side. Goudreau on a breakaway, forehand, backhand, forehand, forehand. She's there too. She's been everywhere, Bill.
Not really spilling any kind of rebounds either, so she's controlling the puck. O'Hearn goes down, and a penalty's coming up, so Centennial goes on the power play for the first time tonight. And that's the coach's kid, Avery Achterkirk, who commits the first penalty, takes the first penalty of the night. The sophomore puts Centennial on the power play.
It's been a really clean game. If I'm Centennial, I'm taking a timeout right now. I want to get fresh legs on the ice. I want to give them some rest. I don't think they're going to do it, but I think they should.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea. Off the draw, it's swept out just out of the reach of Thompson and all the way down. And now on her horse is Ava Johansson on the forecheck. Centennial parents wanting another penalty called, none coming. Could have been a trip, but...
well, I saw it. I think it was O'Hara's stick that tripped her, Franco. O'Hara was just kind of hanging out along the boards, and now she has a chance.
O'Hara goes down between a couple Rogers defenders, and we've got another penalty coming up.
Wow.
Centennial will be on a 5-on-3 for the next 1:27.
O'Hara has lured the last 2 penalties. It's something that you talk to NHL coaches, NHL scouts, the best players, yes, they score, but what they do is they give you special teams opportunities. And how about this? A timeout. I love this timeout. You're going to have a minute. You're going to have a minute and 27 seconds on the 5-on-3. You're going to have 30 seconds after that, still with the advantage. Get your players fresh. Get a plan together. And here's the deal. If you're Centennial, you're a little unnerved right now, okay? You haven't scored in how many minutes? Okay, your best player, Gaudreau, had a breakaway. She didn't score. Larson's been blanketing you all game long. You start looking at the clock. You get under 5 minutes as an athlete, you get a little nervous. Okay, you start freaking out a little bit. Is our season going to end? You start thinking about the wrong things. Our season's going to end. I'm going to have to talk to my parents on the car ride home. What am I going to do tomorrow because I'm not going to practice? Okay, no. You got to focus on the game. You got to focus on the moment. And that's what Emily Achterkirk is telling her team right now, too. Listen, what have we been doing all game long? We've been playing defense. What she's telling her is you got to take away the center of the ice. On a 5-on-3, that's all you're trying to is keep them on the edges. That's where your goalie can thrive. Post saves, that's fine. You don't want anything going cross ice. You don't want any one-timers. As long as you keep them along the perimeter, you're okay. For Centennial, it's about getting rest, but it's also about creating some havoc a little bit too. And that's what O'Hara just did. You lure 2 penalties. You've done your job. Now it's time to execute.
Sean Mullen talking things over as some anxious parents look on. Centennial will have a 5-on-3 for the next minute 27, and then they'll have a 5-on-4 as well. They'll still have the player advantage for the 33 seconds after that. But if Alex, if I'm Rogers, I'm feeling a little bit of pressure. I got a 1-goal lead, and they've got a 2-player advantage here for the next minute 27. Centennial is going to be putting all kinds of pressure on Lauren Larson, and as good as she's played tonight, they need her now for these next 2 minutes more than ever.
It's pressure, but guess what? You want the pressure. This is why you play sports, to succeed in moments like this. Rogers can put the game away right here.
Washington shares it across. Left point, or left circle, I should say. That save made by Larson. Back to O'Hara, out to the left point. Washington walking in, traffic in front of the net. She missed it, comes up the far side boards. Thrown on net again, they score! Callie Cody, traffic in front, she redirected it in, and Centennial has tied this hockey game with 4:28 to play. For Cody, goal number 8 on the season, her 3rd goal on the power play, and the junior forward came up big when her team needed her most.
And here's the deal. O'Hara passes it back to the defense. This is a ballsy shot, okay? You have your best player along the boards with no one there. No, I'm going to put this on net. The confidence that Hannah Thompson has to have to take that opportunity for herself. But guess what? She's back there. She saw the passing lane too. That was not really a shot. That was more so just a, hey, let's throw that in front. Hopefully someone makes a play. Cody does it. The best part about that, Bill, if you're a Centennial fan, you scored early. You still got a power play for a minute and a half. That goal came off on the first penalty. You still have that other one remaining.
Yeah, great point. Still on the power play. Centennial as O'Hara gains the zone. O'Hara avoiding a couple checks. Bailey picks it up first. Out to the left point. Booth for O'Hara. Traffic in front again. .12:43, the time of the power play goal. Cody assisted by Booth and Washin. And now Hemmer steals it. Centering pass, just hopped over the stick of Grace Lager. Now a chance for Rogers. Farrell weaving her way, forced to the wall by Booth. Farrell, backhanded attempt, intercepted by Hemmer. Hemmer to the outstretched reach of Tegan Kuhlenkamp. Still 23 seconds left on the player advantage. Kuhlenkamp in the left wing corner. Back out to the point. New power to Kuhlenkamp down low. 10 seconds left. Kuhlenkamp holds. Backhands it for Booth. Cross ice pass. Off the window. And a nice job on the penalty kill by Farrell, who skates it out. Farrell goes off for a change. We're back to even strength. Tied at 1 with 2:47 to go. Into the zone between the rings. That shot handcuffed the goaltender, but Larson made a nice save. Chatlane nearly ended it.
I think that was Larson's shoulder blade, Bill.
Not the blocker. Oh, fantastic save. Your eyesight's better than mine. Ultimately, Rogers clears it back out to center. Chatlane battling with Bremen. Rogers gets it in deep. Thompson gets there first and goes back the other way for Washington. It's helped out of the zone to center. And thrown cross corner. What a game this we've had. 2:10 to go. Third period. They go off the window, but held in left point by Olgren. Johansson tries to come out of the right corner. Johansson tied up. 5-on-5 hockey. Olgren holds it momentarily and Hemmer forces it out. Boudreau whacks it. It hits a Rogers defender. Banked up to center, but right into the waiting path of a Centennial skater. That's new power. Rogers picks the pocket, and Johansson skates through neutral. Down the left wing. Johansson centers off the skate of a Centennial attacker. That's O'Hearn. Bounding puck right into the path of Callie Cody. 3-on-2 for Centennial. Cody with on the backhand, centers. It's loose in the slot. In front, they score! With 1:13 left to go, Ella O'Hearn gets the go-ahead goal to give Centennial the lead. And with 2 goals in the last 5 minutes, the Cougars have come all the way back to take their first lead of the game.
The 3 seed puts in 2 and under. I'm lost for words. What an unbelievable sequence of events. But here's what I said. You need to have traffic in front to score. We saw it from Larson. If she has a clean look, you're not going to get in. What happens? We get some action in the crease. It goes in by an inch, Bill.
And O'Hearn just camped on the doorstep and was right there. Rogers and Coach Emily Achterkirch have taken a timeout to talk things over.
Centennial was dead to rights, Bill. They were down and out in this game. They put in 2 goals in what, 2.5 minutes? An unbelievable turn. And again, sports is all about momentum. Rogers kills the 5-on-3. This game's essentially over, okay? Centennial, they score that first goal. They keep that other power play alive. Yes, they don't score then, but they still stick with it. An unbelievable buy-in by that team. And to me, it all starts with that timeout, Bill. That timeout reset everyone's legs towards the end of the third period. It created a whole new matchup. But Rogers, they have the depth, they have the talent, they have it. For Centennial, you can't rest on your laurels yet. This is a Rogers team that can spark at any point, at any time, any place. 1:13 left. I would not be too complacent here. You're obviously not going to be, but for Centennial, you can't be resting on the high of the 2 goals you just scored. You need to be focusing on 73 seconds of hockey left, and then guess what? You got a chance to go to the X, baby.
Time of the goal, 15:47, an even strength goal. It was Ella O'Hearn, assisted by Callie Cody and Katie Ball. So the goals officially, Alex, were 3 minutes and 4 seconds apart. We are 1 minute to go here, third period. How about Callie Cody? A goal and an assist here in the last 5 minutes. Oh, that shot flashed wide.
Empty net for Rogers.
Freeman nearly with her second of the game. Glove down to the line, 6 attackers on the ice. Empty net, they say that's a hand pass from the line. And Centennial right here, 2 goals, 3 minutes apart in the last 5 minutes to turn this game on its head.
Starts with a great shot from the point and an unbelievable deflection by Callie Cody that knotted the game up at once. And then, as you mentioned, Bill, 3 minutes, 4 seconds later, O'Hearn, right place, right time, but that comes from chemistry and knowing your line mates. Okay, if I go here, O'Hearn's gonna go there. That's exactly what happened. 38 seconds left from infamy.
35 seconds remaining. Flipped out to center. Out of the reach of Johansson. Getting there first, cleared back out to neutral to Hemmer. They dig it off the wall with McKenna Sandberg looking up for Johansson. Larson's in the goal. Gaudreau gets there to Hemmer on the backhand. Gaudreau snaps off a shot. Comes up the near side towards Salashin at the right point. She throws it on net. 11 seconds left. Booth puts it on Larson's net. Hemmer off the wall. Backhanded attempt. Save made. 3, 2. It's backhanded down. Centennial comes back with 2 goals in the last 5 minutes of the third period to upset the 2 seed tonight, Rogers. They move on to the Class 5 AA section title game to face the top seed, Maple Grove. Unbelievable scenes here, Alex.
You know, you just look at these athletes and, you know, you work your whole life, your whole hockey career to win a game like this, to be prepared for a game like this. Under 5 minutes left, you're down a goal, you're facing the offseason in the face. Gaudreau, she's a senior, she's facing, could be a potentially last hockey game of her life. That means something in this sense, but, you know, they bought in, they believed in themselves, and they needed some luck. Guess what? That transpires and that happens, and, you know, Centennial finds themselves going to a section final. Something they're not, they've done it in years past. They find themselves in it, this game yet again and under a new regime. Very exciting for them.
Something underrated, I think, is the special teams performance tonight, Alex. I mean, Centennial 1 for 2 on the power play, 2 for 2 on the penalty kill, 2 tripping penalties taken in the first period that they killed off to get to the first intermission, 0-0. They give up a goal to Rogers late in the second period to go down 1-0. The momentum was all with Rogers in the blue and black. As Centennial, you see here the third seed, Centennial-SLP, moving on to face Maple Grove in the 5AA girls hockey section title game. And what a game. Lauren Larson, you kind of feel for the Rogers netminder. Oh, yeah. She played a whale of a game and seemed destined for her 7th shutout of the season, but Centennial just would not quit. They took advantage quickly on the 5-on-3, and then 3 minutes and 4 seconds later, 1:13 to go in the game. They had net front presence, and ultimately that was the deciding factor for this game.
For Rogers, it's a 20-win season that, you know, you have to build upon next year. And for Centennial, guess what? You have Gaudreau as a senior, you have O'Hara as a junior that's going to the Gophers. They are not done yet. They still have a game to win, and then, you know, guess what? It's the postseason. It's all butter from there. But for now, you have to be happy with what you did, but the season's not done yet, and you feel for the team that season is.
Yeah, you certainly do. It's tough. You almost don't want to have a loser in a game like this, but ultimately Centennial Spring Lake Park pulls the upset with 2 goals in the last 5 minutes of the third period, and they move on to the Section 5 AA championship game later this week at Roseville Ice Arena. I'd like to thank Director Ted LaRue and our entire North Metro TV crew. For my broadcast partner, Alex Zappa, I'm Bill Hupp saying good night from the Roseville Ice Arena. Again, the final, Centennial Spring Lake Park keeps their season alive with a huge 2-1 semifinal win over the 2-seed Rogers Royals. You've been watching a presentation of high school girls playoff hockey on North Metro TV.